Hey guys, yeah, a little bit red face here. Been out for a run. So the next video coming up, we used Theo's recording stuff. So we'll go straight into that after this little intro. Please, guys, don't forget while you're right here to hit that like, subscribe to both of our channels, hit the bell for new ones coming up. For me, we've got a couple of videos coming out this week. I'm just waiting for some bits to turn up, but I'm going to be talking over. I've just lost train of thought. I'm going to be talking over fire, and then I'm going to do another Kydex one. So I hope you enjoy this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe.
All right, y'all, welcome back. So here we are doing another, I guess, dual reaction is what we're calling it now. So the last one was pretty interesting. Before we were checking out the Royal Marines and the U.S. Marines doing CQB, and I think we're going to continue with that trend of reacting to CQB videos because, again, it's cool to see how we both, will implement certain things or do tactics a little bit differently. Now, this video is by UF Pro, and if you haven't seen these videos, these guys are really solid as far as sort of changing the game when it comes to CQB and designing their tactics. So a lot of the stuff you'll see is pretty, it's kind of strange, especially if you come from a normal infantry standpoint. A lot of these tactics might seem a little bit unorthodox, but I mean, I'm definitely excited to check it out because it should be pretty interesting to see how these guys sort of change the game.
Yeah, definitely.
So 10 minutes long, it's not too bad. This is sort of like the roundup of all their series, but I think they have several videos that are almost 20 minutes long.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of them before, but not this one. I know that.
Yeah, they got some professionals going to this, though.
So,
all right, quick summary. I will approach the narrow angle, I will stop, I will orient check to the back, I will listen to the environment. Do I want to clear this room? Yes, I want to. I will.
So before we get into it, have you ever practiced doing one-man room clearing?
not military, no, not at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it is something you should train as like a contingency, but if I'm at the point where I'm doing one-man room clearing, I'm probably gonna bounce. It's probably
It's
pretty bad.
it's not something that I would do first off, definitely. I mean, you know yourself, it's more the fact that you don't go in a room on your own.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be again, it's sort of like about, survival at that point and just making sure you're being able to preserve yourself. But I guess maybe if you're trying to clear your house when there's a bump in the night, you might use one-man clearing. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have plenty of buddies that'll come over and help me clear my house out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're doing your house, you know all the little nooks and crannies, so that's your advantage, really, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
It's not something that I would think about.
Yeah, we'll see how these guys do it.
Start working with the apex of the threshold. My feet, gun, and eyes are synchronized with the threshold. I will snap to 90 degrees. I will continue to slice, continue to slice. I will attack the corner as soon as I decide that it's enough for me. And as soon as I will attack the corner, I will give a quick check to the back to make sure that everything is fine. Or in this case, I have to deal with the door, and so on and so on. For us, again.
So yeah, he is very monotonous with the actual clearing portion of that.
Yeah.
Which I guess isn't too bad, but at the same time, it could be a little bit sketchy when it's just yourself.
Yeah, and then that part there where he kind of stops in the doorway.
Yeah.
I think what he's trying to, if I was looking at it, I think he's trying to use the doorway as a bit of cover.
Yeah. So that I've seen, at least training with the Israelis, they really like to utilize the door frame as cover, which honestly isn't really too bad of an idea. But it's just when you're doing one-man room clearing, it's going to be sketchy regardless. So when he's in the room and he's turning around without pointing his weapon over there, that's literally just him checking his back. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but kind of sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be able to move with it. So, but at the same time, it's still, it still makes you think, oh God, what? Well, you could be finished, couldn't you, straight away? That could be you done, and then
Yeah. I would, if I had any flashbangs, I'd be throwing them every chance I had.
This will not be 100% realistic because we're trying to replicate a realistic situation. So what will happen is the following: you will be facing that direction, you're at that direction, I am here, I have no idea where my friend is at. At some point, something is going to happen, and we'll have to adjust my position to them. Okay? Guys, you are clear to go. You can say your letter. Just 5 seconds delay from each other. We will do a quick demonstration after that.
I've seen this. Pretty cool.
Okay? As soon as you're on threat, bam, 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 whatever you can say. Okay? 3, 2, 1, and let's start. Charlie. Bravo. Charlie.
So, again, these guys look like I don't even know what they do, but they look super high speed with all their weapons and whatnots.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever done any sort of like movement drills like this, as far as like CQB is concerned?
No, not anything like that at all. The only thing that scares me a little bit is, I mean, you'll know, unless you've got a blank firing detachment on, you're not going to put the weapon, then they got mags in. So
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's rolling.
I mean, well, you know, we're all taught, you know, you don't point the muzzle at anybody unless you're going to be doing the old business. So
they do seem to be doing a pretty good job of dropping it and driving it to the certain direction. So it's good as far as the violence is concerned. Now, another way you could utilize this is just making sure you're not shooting past your buddy. So being able to actually move up online is pretty solid. It's sort of like implementing normal infantry tactics with like CQB. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and like you said at the start, obviously it's hard to, you know, actually do this properly because they're in a little, you know, they're probably in a little box there in an open room. So the point is to help them maneuver and, you know, come to the target quicker. I'm assuming that's what that purpose is.
Yeah, pretty cool drill. Yeah, in reality, they probably wouldn't have this much room to be doing all this, but...
No.
Okay, guys, so basically we talked about the angles, different room shapes. We talked about how we can manipulate those angles into our advantage, right? We focus primarily on clearing those rooms with open
if you
doors.
pause it for a second,
Yeah.
I think this is a German unit. If you look,
it looks like just the way that it's actually spelled and whatnot, and
then
then
on the
MP7s too.
Well, if you look on the guy with the MP7 back, he's got a little German flag.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, you just see it if you watch.
So what we're going to do now is we will focus we focus primarily on clearing those rooms with open doors.
As he comes in, you just catch a glance of it.
So, again, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be doing here, but I know he was mentioning angles and whatnots, and that's a huge part of CQB. Like, we used to call it like a game of angles. So if you can manipulate those angles to your advantage, it definitely works out in your favor.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
So what we're going to do now is we will focus on clearing these rooms with closed doors. Does it affect the angles or it remains the same angles in definitions? Stays the same. Stays the same. Everything system stays the same. The footwork stays the same, but you will see. Okay. Before I will start, I just want to go with you through definitions. Some of them will be familiar to you, some not. But it's really important because terminology is everything. Good. Well, don't forget when you're interacting with a door, weapon up and not down. Okay, you can get locked. Okay. Good.
So, I don't know the premise from the training here, in the sense of is everything, you know, this is police searching. Everything has to be a little bit more methodical, in the sense of slower. Where obviously, if this was like a deliberate action, you wouldn't be opening the door, waiting a few seconds. It'll be open and then. So, I'm assuming this is tailored
Yeah, it's
to the client.
well, it's weird because like with police, a lot of times they have to deal with like hostage situation, and if they're SWATs, they have to be pretty quick just because things
Yeah,
can unfold very poorly and very
yeah,
quickly. So it's kind of interesting that these guys are doing it so monotonously.
yeah,
I'm not sure
definitely.
if they do tailor it specifically to these people, but it is strange how they're actually maneuvering sort of inside the door frame. Like I feel like you could still be on the outside of the door frame and clear out most of the room without endangering
I was
yourself.
about to say the same thing. You could, once that door's open, except from where the door is kind of half open, you can get probably
Yeah.
60-70% of that room covered.
Yeah, and I would say even the door being like slightly open would be better for you, especially if you're doing one man entry. You can go to the other corner, and at least you have some concealment from the corner.
Yeah,
But yeah, very interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. Good.
I don't know why they're opening the door themselves though. It's kind of weird.
again, something I was just thinking myself. You'd want someone else to do that, and then you go in.
Yeah. So we could see he was doing the whole rifle over the shoulder thing, which I have seen
Yeah,
people do. But that's usually when they're like right when they're making an entry, they would put it over their shoulder and drive it to the corner. If you're outside the room, you can still get it pretty. You can still get it shouldered.
yeah, and I know some people may ask why they do that, and that's to try and keep that muscle discipline out of the way as you're entering the room, so you're not giving yourself away, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think he has enough room. He could give a little bit of standoff for himself.
Yeah,
Exactly. Very good. You see, so he actually bailed back to the narrow. He saw that the door came back like an anomaly, and he went into the narrow. It's very good. That's perfect because then he was able to foresee if there is any problem coming, whatever. Yeah, very good. So for a friction of a moment,
but
what
like I think
happened
you were
here? As
saying,
soon
if
as
this
they
is
were coming
Israeli
through that corner,
potentially, I wonder if sometimes they have to do that because of the threat they have,
Yeah.
and they've mastered it. If that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah, it seems like he did a little bit better there, where like he was able to back up and get a little bit of standoff before actually, taking his muzzle inside the room. So it
Yeah,
didn't look too bad there.
that gun in his body triggered that angle over there. That means if someone is standing over here, he has the time to,
Hmm.
huh, gun, and I need to do something here. Even if I will try to shoot him and he will be super fast and he will go through, the next guy, the third guy, whatever, they will get shot. Why? Because it's
It's a good
triggered this
point.
angle. Another issue
mm.
which will be really interesting, that is that if he will see me, what will be his natural reaction? Turning around. But he's also coming around the corner, right? So we have inefficiency because no one is covering up ahead. Plus, there is a high chance with pistols or MP7s that that we will have here friendly fire. Okay.
Hmm.
So let's see how we can do it more efficient, but in the same time, how we can also tailor it a little bit into human behavior. Make sense?
So I like how he's saying how it triggers the corner. So with CQB and just moving inside an enclosure, like you are triggering certain areas when you enter it. So it's interesting how
Yeah,
he actually mentions it like that.
and there he was talking about human behavior as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So and actually, if you think, I don't think that's something what I was ever taught of how would an individual actually react and do stuff inside that room, or that's quite interesting to see actually.
Yeah, because it would be natural for if you're going a certain direction. If you see something in your peripheral and you probably know it's a bad guy, you're probably gonna want to just cover your own ass. But
Yeah,
yeah, you do have a job to do in CQB, and it's kind of sketchy. You just need to be able to trust everyone, really.
yeah, you do.
Okay, so stop. As soon as you recognize from here that the 45 is coming, you compress the gun. As soon as you see that he compresses it, you see the problem, it's yours. You will take a step forward slightly, just in front of him a little bit, exactly. Body contact, and let's move. Exactly.
I like that.
Body
Yeah,
contact.
yeah, the body contact, so you know
And
he's moving with you.
Exactly. You recognize the problem. Compress the weapon.
I like that. I mean,
Compress
this
the
is
gun.
obviously working in a more
Try to
open
get rid of the bad habit.
slash CQB space.
Yeah, I mean, like actually going across the danger area like that, we never practiced actually bringing your weapon up just to make sure you're not showing yourself before you go around it. So that's pretty cool that he's actually throwing that in there. So their
Yeah,
timing is really well when they're actually going past the corner.
I like that. I do.
Yeah.
Bit of twisting it and just line it down. Exactly. Be aware about the angles. Yeah. Slowly, slowly. Okay, 45. Weapon down, compress it. Let him take the lead. You will be slightly forward. Elbow like this, perfect. And let's go. Yeah, exactly. You're with him. Yeah, very good. Clean angle.
So
Let's go.
obviously that's all
I
about
will approach it.
the plates protecting your oppo there as well, your mate.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, keeping him safe as well. So that I like that. I really do.
Yeah, I
I
know.
think
Go ahead.
I think the Urtek on an MP7 is a little bit overkill.
I think it looks awesome. Honestly, that'd be like my top choice for CQB. Either that or P90. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it
do
is.
like the look of the MP7 though.
Yeah, I wish I could get one in the civilian market. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is cool that he's implementing the body armor protection as well, because you always want to do the body armor and the I guess the lead protection as we used to call it.
Yeah.
Angle. Let's go. So I will approach it in our angle. I will stop just like we always learn. By the way, I'm on my weaker side, right? So if you have time and you have a local surprise, here is the time to do a shoulder transition. Make sense? Only if you have the time. If you expect any person to come out, well, you should not do it. Make sense? Okay, from here I'm starting to slice. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. I'm slicing. All good. And oh shit, I see a wall. Where's the responsibility shift to? To this area, right? Okay, so from here I will shift, slice it if needed. I will attack it, look over shoulder, and then I can start working on the next problem and so on and so on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
look at this. Wow.
So my only looking at that, he's already sliced that and already seen that corner and then he's gone back in.
Yeah.
And he says, "Where does the responsibility shift to?" I thought he was going to say the wall to the right where the door is, but then maybe the door and the wall were quite parallel, so therefore that's why he did what he did there.
Yeah, he's probably just minimizing it. He sees a wall, he probably thinks the other corner is a little more dangerous. But his footwork was pretty good. Now I can say we didn't practice too much with switching arms, but I did see the UK counter-terror police, instead of switching like their actual shoulders or at least switching their hands, they would just switch shoulders and sort of just push the stock to the other side, which I practiced it a little bit. It's kind of interesting to try it like that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like if you looked at the UK military with the SA80, old one when I was in training, the cocking handle didn't have like a round deflector on it.
Okay.
So if you tried doing that, and you never really did do that, you was always taught, right eye dominant, that's the only way you're going to shoot. You'd get brass in your face. But then they made a new cocking handle, which is a bit like your round deflector, and or your cartridge deflector, and you could do it, but not many lads did anyway. It wasn't, the SAE isn't designed to be, ambidextrous in that sense.
Yeah, I remember when I first started shooting my X95, my Tavor, I realized that it didn't really have a good brass deflector, and switching arms wasn't really going to happen too well.
No.
But it definitely is easy to switch arms with a bullpup.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Huh. This is good like non-verbal clearing.
Yeah.
They definitely understand what each other's doing. So another interesting thing you can see here, like there's only two people, so they can't really maintain the long security, but he goes inside the room and he sort of uses the door frame as cover. Now I know when I left CQB school, they changed it, so if there was a hallway and there was a room that was clear, you would sort of jump into that room and use that door frame as cover, so you're not just standing in the open. Which
makes complete sense. And if you, like you're saying, no comms, obviously in this scenario, if everything's clear and it hasn't gone loud, then there's no need to talk. Because then if you're clearing and trying to surprise, then you don't have to let everyone know you're there.
Yeah, they're working pretty well together. Nice. I liked how he also backed up when he was standing up too, so he's not hitting his buddy.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Police, turn around, turn around! Stop.
Did he shoot him?
Get on the ground, get on the ground!
Yeah. Oh, that was an airsoft rifle.
Come to me!
Oh, huh.
Do it really quick.
Yeah, it sounded like he shot
What
him.
just happened?
Yeah, it was an airsoft rifle.
He was facing the wall, and I told him to turn around, and he turned around and he grabbed to the hip.
Oh.
Movement like this,
Okay.
then I take the first shot.
Okay, did you saw a gun?
No.
Alright. Identification. We can argue this a lot. Identification is identification.
That was a very police move right there, as far as him reaching for the hip and blasting him. I would say, yeah. In the military, that would be a lot harder to explain. You have way more people asking questions for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
But another thing, like just even doing CQB, you really need to have the combat mindset of like even if you're going around a door, a lot of people just don't even expect to see anything. So sometimes you'll see people, they'll see something and then they'll be like oh, they'll get like spooked a little bit because they weren't hoping to see anything.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is obviously as military personnel, if we're going to clear, it's because there's a threat inside. We know there's a threat, so
Yeah.
we don't potentially have to PID a weapon in their hand, because
Yeah.
if we're engaging it because either we've been engaged, then we know the threat's in there and we've got to clear it to stop it from happening again. So, and the Afghans were very like, oh, we'll just drop our weapons, but actually, it doesn't work like that in a war zone. Sometimes it's like we're going in and potentially every person in there,
Yeah.
as we know, in Afghan, women and children are gone. If they're contacting from compounds, they're gone. It is only men ever in there,
Yeah.
because they don't want them to get hurt.
Yeah.
Especially if you drop like a 500 pounds on top of it as well.
Yeah, that'll send them away. And a lot of times you don't deploy with like flashbangs and whatnot, so a lot of times these rooms will just get a frag grenade and call it a day.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just because you haven't got time to constantly. You just got to get rid of the threat and crack on with the job.
Yeah, the Israelis especially, they called it going wet when they would just start throwing frags and whatnot.
Took his belt.
It's when you throw a thermobaric in there and it just destroys the whole compound.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have a gun. It's problematic, right? Okay. Take your time. Take your time.
Come in.
Okay, what are you looking for right now? You see the threat. What are you looking for?
On the left side of the gun,
All right. What is the priority? The corner or this guy right now?
now the corner.
Now?
In the moment I see the gun is away from him and he's not moving,
Exactly. So you will try to get the corner, but in the same time try to keep some kind of peripheral connection with the body. All right. So let's continue.
Those are some nice airsoft guns.
Corner and bomb the body.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty nice transition going from taking down the threat and actually moving to the corner. It's a very good thing to train on.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And again, I think this is very tailored to the police mentality, where from a military aspect, and depending on what unit you are, if you were a tier 1 unit, you'd probably double tap him again.
Yeah.
And it would do where potentially we would double tap, see he stopped, clear the room, and then have to potentially administer first aid if needed. Which is, and where here I noticed with the American police, where if they shoot someone, they handcuff them first, clear them first, and then they start administering first aid.
Yeah. I know from like deployed, it's hard, like with the psychological standpoint, it's hard to not get the tunnel vision, especially like if you engage someone and then you're trying to move on to something else. A lot of times people get tunnel vision. And I mean, you see it with police shootout videos too. Like they'll get the handcuffs because they're trained to do that, but transitioning to the medical aid, it's like such a secondary thing. Yeah.
But it's good to see though that they're not just like put as many rounds as possible, but actually carry on clearing, which is quite nice to see, because there could be no threat in there.
Yeah, they're staying pretty controlled. I wonder how many of these are airsoft guns now.
Yeah, I reckon quite a bit of them.
Makes it a lot less cool.
Which, you know, funny enough, you say that. If this is Germany, which I think it is, because of the way some of the writing was on the wall,
Yeah.
in Germany, the airsoft weapons are not allowed to have attachments except from the sight.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't remember why or who told me that. I remember seeing it somewhere, and yeah, so that would make sense why a lot of them don't have torches in a dark place.
That's I know, like with Canada, their weapons have to be either like transparent or like a light green. So
Yeah,
it's pretty funny to see some of the airsoft rules. I know in the US you're supposed to have the orange tip, but a lot of times people
yeah,
just take it off and whatnot.
yeah. Where here it's so it's not even called a license. Basically, it's called Jakara, where if you go and play every Sunday for so many months, it allows you to buy a riff, and a riff is a real imitation firearm.
Uh,
But the thing is, it's not the type of weapon; it's just how it looks. So here, if you don't have a Yukara, you've got like a handguard and a stock that's bright blue. But when you get it, you can take them off and put what you're not meant to, but people do. They just put whatever they want on.
yeah,
It just defeats the purpose.
that's funny. It's gonna be interesting.
Cool.
Nice. I don't think he cleared out his corner though.
I think he did. I think he just went in and
So it was interesting how he took a knee. I mean, a lot of times when you know there's a threat, you can pretty much come around the corner already firing just to make sure you can get that foothold. Yeah. But it was cool that he still dropped to the knee just to add a little extra level of mystery as far as what was going on.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's moving. There you go. Nice. Yeah, so I mean, you can see he definitely knows what he's doing because he does implement things a little bit differently from other people, but a lot of times people don't really try and innovate on CQB too much. So it's cool.
No, and
it's doing it.
I think I said it one moment. It's a bit like you can't reinvent the wheel.
Right.
So you know you've just got to adapt to the situation. Where I think, like I said, the British Navy, not so much like used to in the old days, stack up like the Yanks did, and then we realised actually how efficient it could be, and then we adapted it to our type of tactics. And so yeah, you can see. I've never done much one man, so that was interesting to see that.
Yeah, I've practiced it. I'm not gonna lie, I have practiced doing like one man stuff like in my house and whatnot, and it is completely different when you actually know the layout of the house and whatnot. But even still, regardless, it's always going to be super sketchy. You kind of just need to be violent or quick when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's the violence of action. So you've got to get in there and finish it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit, in a sense, scary side for me, like having to be methodical and be very deliberate in a sense that you're doing that and then you're coming back and then you're moving around and it's like, oh, okay, that's a bit slow for me because you're just so used to being gun ho, get in there and clear the threat.
Yeah, it's even cool like implementing certain things like flashlights can really give you a leg up on the enemy. Because I remember when we were doing like force on force, like with the paint rounds or the simunition, just someone having a flashlight just confuses you. If you can do anything to confuse them, it works a lot.
If you've got the ability to put it on a strobe as well, and it is dark, it just completely. Hey Owen, sorry.
It's all good.
Wait, just grab Wembley for me for a second. Little monkey. He's a little. I tell you, he's a beagle.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay attention to him, mate, that's it. He's like. Rah!
Yeah.
He just wants you to say hello to him.
Same way.
Mate, he's 4, but you'd think he's about 2 years old, like human years. Anyway, so flashlights. So we took like strobes, like strobes. I don't know if you've ever had that in.
Yeah.
That's annoying. I know. I hate it.
Yeah, like I didn't use it in the military. I do have them on my personal firearms, but when I was playing airsoft one time, someone used it on me, and I was like, "There's no way that's like legal." But at the same time, I'm like, "Why am I complaining about this? Like, that's such a smart
Yeah,
idea. It's so simple."
it is, and especially in mega dark. That's it. Your science gone if you've got. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's like a big psychological thing too. You like, maybe am I getting lit up right now, or is that a light?
Yeah,
So it's cool to see.
because I've played an airsoft game where I've turned and I've seen it and I've gone like that, and I've looked and I'm concentrating on where that's coming from. So I'm thinking, and then I'm getting hit from another angle because what they've done is they put a dummy because they know you'll concentrate on the strobe, and actually it's a very clever little thing.
Yeah, and I mean, even still, it like burns that like light into your eyes too. So it's
Yeah,
like you need to start looking on the outside of your like vision to see anything.
yeah, no, definitely. But then I remember serving when I served when we first started putting. We never used to have any Picatinny rails on our S80s, so we used to have to tape a Magalite to the front,
Okay.
and that's what we had. We didn't have button like, and then you look at it now and you're thinking, why? Like it was the most stupid thing. You know, you'd have to twist the front to get it on. You're like,
I mean, like even during Operation Nimrod, the SAS had those giant like mag lights or whatever on top of their MP5s. So I mean, it's cool.
And all it was like a button, like a crappy button on top. But,
Yeah. I mean, nowadays you got like lasers, IR lasers, flashlights all in one.
Yeah, and it's not even like for us. I mean, that was 2000 and when did I do that? So when I was to 2004 getting ready for Iraq, and you know we're only 16 years ago, and it just shows you that, like the progression, how quick that happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of depressing in a sense, but I mean, it's good for us being in the military and
Yeah,
whatnot. But yeah.
yeah. I mean, just the kit's better.
Yeah.
So,
All right, let me close out this video. Make sure I'm still recording. All right, dope. All right, well, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our little dual reaction. This one was pretty interesting. Again, we're starting to implement more things that we wouldn't actually see in the U.S. or UK military. So it's cool to see these kinds of videos. If you guys have any recommendations for anyone who's doing it a little bit unorthodox or who's sort of innovating on the room clearing or tactics in general, definitely feel free to send that our way. And yeah, it'd be awesome to check it out. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you haven't checked out our channels, definitely go and check them out. Subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified whenever we upload any more videos. But that is it for this one. So we'll see you all in the next one.
stay safe.